One-stop solution from nursery to grade 12.
Birla Brainiacs and Disha Kiran presents a comprehensive wellness program for students and parents.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so good afternoon and welcome to all the parents, students and teachers of the Birla Brainiacs community who have joined today for this webinar on wellness for children. Today in our team, we have Dr. Parul, Vinita Oliveira, Colonel Joshua and me. We will be discussing with you and talking about Disha Kiran's wellness program for you. On behalf of our team, I wish to express a sincere gratitude to the management team of Birla Brainiacs and Birla Open Mind School for giving us this opportunity. We also appreciate this initiative that they have taken to address the wellness amongst children, which will go a long way. I will urge all the parents to kindly and students to kindly pay attention during the workshop. It's a short workshop of about 60 to 70 minutes. It will help your child a lot, going long way. It will be beneficial to you as parents as well. So please pay attention, and at the end of the workshop, we'll request you to kindly fill the feedback form. The feedback form is very interesting about the workshop, as well as it has a 2,000 rupees discount coupons for everyone who submits the feedback form. Having said that, let me come to the panel of the speakers today. So Dr. Parul Kohli, who's an educational psychologist with more than 10,000 hours of counseling experience. She has been dealing with children's wellness for a very long time, and she will be talking about the issues related to today's children, specifically in context of the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has impacted the children and parents. Thereafter, we have Vinita Oliveira, who is a practicing clinical psychologist with 15,000 hours of counseling experience. She has worked with the United Nations. She's worked with a lot of schools and children all across the country. Followed by Colonel Joshua, who is IIM Ahmedabad alumni and who's also a military veteran, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of the Disha Kiran. He will talk about the overall takeaways from this workshop. And I am your host. I am Dr. Andy Anil. I'm a graduate from IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad, and also a military veteran dealing with children's wellness for the last few years. So let's start the workshop now. What is the agenda? What are we going to talk today? Wellness is a very uncommon subject to discuss, but specifically in wake of COVID-19, the wellness has come as one of the important factors in child's growth. So in today's workshop, we will talk about the wellness which is related to children and how Disha Kiran supports wellness program for children. We will discuss with you some important and alarming facts and data about how wellness can impact a student or a parent's life. We will have some wellness activities to be carried out. We will discuss what are the current challenges which today students are facing, and then how to cope with those challenges. What are the coping mechanisms for children and parents? What's the parents' role to help their children in coping with these aspects of wellness better? We will discuss about counseling, therapy and holistic wellness activities, and then we will propose a solution which Disha Kiran has been providing to more than 100 schools in the country. In the end, we will have an interactive session with the parents and students. I will request all of you, please post your questions in the Q&A, which all of you as participants have a tab called Q&A. You can post your questions while the workshop is going on. At the end of the workshop, our panelists will answer your questions, whichever you post in the chat box or in Q&A. We'll prefer you to post in the Q&A part of it. Next slide, please. Now, what is this wellness support program? So we at Disha Kiran, we have 25 very highly qualified, experienced and renowned wellness experts, counselors, therapists who deal with the wellness of children. How do we do this? So we start with the first aspect of wellness is we start with orientation program like we are having today for all of you, where we talk to the students, teachers and parents and tell about the various aspects of wellness. Thereafter, it is followed by, after today's session, you will have an online wellness assessment of the children, where every child will have an assessment which is not more than 15 minutes online, where the child will be assessed on 8 parameters of wellness. We will share this wellness report with the child or the parent who is along with the child with the solutions. In this assessment report, all the 8 parameters where the child stands today, where we need to take action, which part of the wellness is good with the child or will be told to you. All those children who will require some intervention after this assessment will have a one-on-one session with our counselors and therapists. We also provide, this is a unique thing which we are doing in the country, 24/7 helpline to all the parents and all the students to talk to our counselors and therapists anytime they want to about any issue pertaining to the child's wellness. Those children who are found to be generally resilient in all the wellness aspects, all 8 aspects, they will also have wellness activities in addition to the normal one-on-one counseling for those who require intervention. So wellness activities twice a month will carry on for them, and we will have counseling therapy sessions for those who require serious intervention. Next slide, please. Now, I wanted to bring to you some alarming fact. इन फैक्ट से हमको डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, हमको सिर्फ समझने की जरूरत है कि सिचुएशन क्या है. As per the government of India, by 2024, depression will be the most prevalent childhood disorder, जो कि आज से सिर्फ 2 साल दूर है. Which means आज से 2 साल बाद हिंदुस्तान के अंदर मैक्सिमम जो बच्चे जो कोई डिजीज जो उनको होती है उसमें सबसे नंबर 1 जो है वो डिप्रेशन होगी, जो कि आज से 5, 7 या 10 साल पहले सिचुएशन नहीं थी. It also says that 2 out of 10 children, that means young people between 5 to 16 years of age, already have a diagnosable and curable wellness issue. Sorry. The next data point is a little more alarming than this. As per last year, 198 million people in India have needed help pertaining to various wellness issues, out of which 46 million had depression, 47 million had anxiety. This problem became so acute कि भारत की सरकार ने जब NEP 2020 लॉन्च किया, उसके अंदर वेलनेस को एक एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के अंदर फॉर्मल तरीके से इंक्लूड किया, जो कि पहले नहीं होता था. अगर आप स्लाइड देखेंगे उसमें ऑन द राइट बॉटम यू विल सी इंडियाज हेल्थ मिनिस्टर रिलीजिंग अ डॉक्यूमेंट अबाउट हाउ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज गोइंग टू हेल्प children in government schools to deal with various wellness issues. That's how serious the issue has become. On the left side of the slide on the bottom, you will see different age groups. हर एक एज ग्रुप में बच्चों को किस तरह के वेलनेस इश्यूज आते हैं उसके बारे में परसेंटेज है, कितने बच्चे हैं जिनको ये तकलीफ हो रही है. वेदर ये तकलीफ हमको मालूम चल रही है एज पेरेंट्स या नहीं मालूम चल रही है, वो इंक्लूडेड है इसके अंदर. आप देखेंगे हर एक एज ग्रुप में कोई ना कोई इशू, वेदर वो डिप्रेशन का है, एंजाइटी का या बिहेवियर डिसऑर्डर का, आपको दिखेगा काफी हाई परसेंटेज में है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. नाउ दिस इज द वेलनेस मैप ऑफ इंडिया, मैप्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. आप इसमें देखेंगे 4 आपको हिंदुस्तान के मैप दिखेंगे, जिसमें लेफ्ट टॉप पे डिप्रेशन के बारे में है, राइट टॉप पे एंजाइटी के बारे में है, राइट बॉटम पे कॉन्डक्ट या बिहेवियर डिसऑर्डर के बारे में, और राइट लेफ्ट बॉटम में आपको दिखेगा जो कि इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी की बात है. आप ये देखेंगे कि होल इंडिया इन सम वे और अदर इज अफेक्टेड बाय वेलनेस इशू, एंड which brings to the more important concept of why are we not, as parents, as teachers, as society people, why are we not dealing with this issue which is affecting our children so adversely. Next slide, please. Now, UNICEF has given this statement about India, which is very alarming, and I don't like this statement, but this is a fact of life in India. With the ignorance of wellness as a society, when they say society, Indian society, it is a time bomb that is ticking, and without right action now, millions of our children growing up will feel the adverse effect of this. So it became so acute that in 2021, the Prime Minister of India came on to Mann Ki Baat program, which he conducts regularly, and he spoke about the main issue that today in our country, we are not talking about expressing our depression issues. The main issue is कि हम बताते नहीं हैं कि हमको क्या तकलीफ है, especially बच्चे. अभी डॉक्टर पारुल इस बारे में बात करेगी कि बच्चे अपनी बात को एक्सप्रेस क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं, क्या तकलीफ होती है. तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने ये बात बोली है कि हमारा मेन मुद्दा ये है कि हमको बच्चों को हेल्प करना है अपने आप को, अपनी तकलीफ को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए. एंड फॉर दैट द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज वेरी क्लियरली सेड दैट वी मस्ट सीक हेल्प फ्रॉम द राइट पीपल well in time. Right people can be parents, can be counselors, can be professionals, can be teachers, but we must seek help. हमको इसमें शर्म नहीं आना चाहिए as parents or as teachers to help our children. Next, please. With this, I will now hand over to Dr. Parul Kohli, who is the co-founder and Chief Counseling Officer of Disha Kiran and Map My Mind. She is working as a Chief Counseling Officer in India and UK. She has a PhD in educational psychology. She has more than 10,000 hours of experience as a counselor and as a therapist. She is one of the most renowned names in the holistic wellness in the country, and she was also a member of National New Education Policy 2020 Planning Committee. So over to Dr. Parul to take you further in this workshop.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andy. Okay, good afternoon everybody, and welcome to all of you present here. Also, I would like to thank you to take out that those of you who have taken out time to be here for this Disha Kiran's wellness program. Now, before I start, I would start with some ice-breaking activities so that I know you a little better, and let's see how you perform with these small little day-to-day challenges. So get up and get ready for these activities. So can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so in this particular picture, please observe the picture carefully. I will give you about 5 to 10 seconds to observe it. And it will be nice if everybody participates. Of course, I'm going to ask you questions pertaining to this. देख लिया अच्छे से. Right, so ready? Next slide, please. Okay, here comes your first question. How many dogs are there in the picture? You can write your answers in the chat box. Type fast, quick. Okay, 2, 5, 6, 7. All right. Yes. Come on, children, quick. Parents, those of you who are participating, let me see how strong is your memory. Right. Okay. So I think most of you fared quite okay. We'll discuss the answers in the end of the questions. Okay. So here comes your second question. Are there any birds on the tree? Were there? Yes or no? You can answer yes or no. Okay. Some of you have even counted them. Okay. Very nice. Yes. No. Yes. 3 birds. Fiona says 3 birds. Diva says yes. Okay. So confident. Nice. Okay, all of you participating well. Okay, some of you have got good memories. Okay, right, so let's go to the next question. Who's riding the motorcycle, a girl or a boy? Come on now, that's a trick question. Come on. Let me see who's going to get this correct. Okay. Let me see who observed carefully. There goes somebody answered, huh? All right. Okay. Right, so let's look at the picture now and see. Okay. Yeah, we do have 7 dogs. Right? So those of you who got the answer 7 is correct. And bird in the tree. I see one blue birdie. Right, and there was no motorcycle, it was just a bicycle. Right, so you got that correct, most of you. Come on, we still have more questions. Okay, so over to next round. Get set, go. So list 4 things required to make tea. Come on, type it quickly, all the 4 together. Let me see. Let me see how many of you know this. Chat box. Type. Milk, okay, very true. Sugar, water, milk, tea powder, yes. Quick, yes, sugar pot, okay, pot is required, definitely. Sugar and tea leaves, kettle, very important, okay. Water, sugar, water, milk, pot, okay. Gas, yes, that's true too. Alright, yeah, I'm glad most of you got it correct. And now I know how you like your tea. Alright, so let's go to the next question. Which of the following is odd one out? Hate, fondness, affection, attachment. Yeah, this is a fairly easy one. Right? Hate, yeah, most of you have got it, hate. Hate, right, so this one was an easy one. The rest of the 3 are very positive emotions, and hate is definitely a negative one, so that's an odd one out. Let's go to our next question. Which one of these is an odd one out? Cow, horse, mule or goat? Come on kids. Now for parents, this should be very easy. Okay, most of you say mule. Buddy says goat. Come on, quick. Right, so I'm still getting answers on this. Okay. Right, so the correct answer is mule, because the other 3 are pure breeds. Mule is a crossbreed. So mule is the correct answer. We still have more to go. Come on. List 3 things you cannot go out without nowadays. Considering the situation nowadays, you can't go out without these 3 things. Mask, definitely. Sanitizer, yeah. Mask, sanitizer. Okay. Money, definitely. Come on, all the 3 together. Mobile. Mask, sanitizer, money, Divya says. Mobile, everybody's writing mobile, huh? How important the gadget is. Phone, money. Gloves, yes. Okay, so it's pretty much mask, sanitizer, money, mobile and gloves. Yeah, absolutely correct. We have some intelligent audience here. Alright, so let's go to our next question. Which figure is odd one out? Come on, scratch your brains now. Scratch your brains. Let me see who gets this correct. Quick. Yeah, that was a quick answer. Okay. So I have the kids and the parents involved here in good reasoning, huh? Wow. All of you got it correct. It is, no doubt, it is undoubtedly D. Very correct. Yes, and the logic is, of course, the rest of them have got 8 sides, considering circle has 1 side, so D is the only one which is the odd one out. Lovely. So with this, we come to our next segment. Now, the kids who are participating, this is for you, and the parents who are participating, get into your child's shoes now, and become the kid. So here is your situation. You're doing an important assignment. to be submitted the next day, and your parent yells at you for not cleaning your room for the past 1 week despite repeated reminders and wants you to do it right now. What are you going to do? Your options are A. Can I have the option? Snap back at the parent. B. In 5 minutes clean up the room to make it presentable somehow. C. Ignore the parent, continue to do your work, assignment is important. D. Leave everything and sulk for being yelled at. Or E. You promise to clean up immediately after you finish your assignment. Okay, lots of you say E. Yeah, schoolwork is important, but then cleaning is also important. Yeah, lots of you say B or E. Okay, so you're able to manage. All right. So thank you so much for participating. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed. How did you feel? Please write in the chat box. How did you feel? Was it fun? Was it competitive? Was it exhausting, exciting, thrilling? Did you all compete? Did you get into a competition? Was it challenging? Interesting? Yeah. Okay. So yes. So this was really a small little challenge that we faced today. So let's understand what kind of challenges do we face at this age or our children are facing nowadays. So some of the current challenges that we are facing today, I've divided them into 3. We cannot rule out post-COVID adjustment, and of course exam pressure 24/7. All the kids will agree with me and the parents too. Then of course we have the new area, which is the virtual environment. Not that it wasn't already there, but it has become quite prevalent now. With post-COVID adjustment, we have seen a lot of social isolation and anxiety creeping in. Children are not able to meet their friends. You can imagine at their age, parents, we were running around the parks and climbing trees, probably those of you who could, and the others were at least meeting our friends every single day in the school. So here, definitely for academic reasons, we need to be online. We do not have a choice, and that is need of the hour today. But definitely our virtual environment has increased, because of which there are issues of not being able to meet our friends physically. And also the outside members. Most of us are confined to only the family members. There was too less family time, and to an extent now in some cases it has become too much family time. Also, there is nothing wrong in that, but yes, the children, it becomes really difficult for us to cope up. I'm sure a lot of us who are working from home also, it becomes a little difficult at times to cope up. Also, exam pressure with new norms, especially the board classes. We just finished boards of one half, and now we are going to have another boards. When are they going to happen? How are they going to happen? That is a constant pressure as well. Competition is something that we all have in us, and definitely that is a lot of cause of our anxiety. अभी we just played a game, इसमें भी इतना competition था that do we have the correct answer or not, or do we type first, or am I the first one, am I the one who's right? All these kind of small little anxieties that we have. Needless to say, we have the virtual world, especially TV, web series, and the children here will agree with me. BTS and EXO fans are there, I'm sure they will agree with me. Abhi to concerts are also happening online. So everything is happening online, because of which we are in some manner or the other cut off from the outside world and into our own zone. It has its own wellness repercussions because we're totally into a bubble. To explain this to you further, I would want to talk about few cases that we here at Disha Kiran have faced. Of course, because of our 24/7 helpline that we have, we get late evening calls, and we are able to manage the children through our counseling and our wellness tests. Now here is a live report of a child whose case I would like to talk about. Now this is the case of a child who went into his class 10th board class. The child had a nice good IQ level, and of course he was an intelligent child. However, considering that it was a board class and he also wanted to do well, the parents also wanted him to do well. So they got him into extra tutorials. Also, the parent also took care that they were also present. All this was causing some kind of a pressure on him, which they did not know. And when the child came to us, his grades were, instead of improving, were dropping. In the first half, there was a major drop. When he came to us, we ran some wellness tests and came to know that he was not very good in stress resilience. Now, when you see these 4 dimensions, heart, soul, mind and strength, which extensively Vinita will be talking about later, if you see, stress resilience is quite low. So, to an extent, the more he was being pampered, the more he was getting under stress. And if you see, under mind, his organizing was also a little low. So we were able to make out that this is where he needed help, and we were able to counsel him and give him activities accordingly. So specific area was discovered very quickly because of the test, and counseling and therapy was taken care with that aspect, and we could achieve results very quickly, and he fared quite well in his boards according to what his potential was, and it was only his behavior. So all of us are unique, and we have our own unique perceptions and beliefs, which definitely comes out through our behavior, whatever our thought processes is. So it disturbs our physical well-being also. So mental and physical well-being is quite important, and it is maintained through our thoughts. Now, if we see the cycle of thoughts, could you please change the slide? So if we see the cycle of thoughts, if we have negative thoughts coming into our mind, maybe people don't like me, or what if I make a mess of things, and all the kind of negative thoughts, that am I being judged for my clothes, for my looks? The emotions that are generated are, you feel anxious, you get embarrassed, sometimes you also become a little irritable or sad. And physical sensations are like being a little sweaty, your hands will sweat because of the physical anxiety that you're having. Also, you become a little tense. Even before your exams, you have these sweaty palms, you have the heartbeat going faster, you have a little breathlessness, you feel shaky before any kind of performance also. The behavior is, of course, you would not want to talk to anybody, you will keep on checking on yourself, on your looks, or you will run away from being a part of any social outlook, any social gathering also. You will say that I'm busy with my assignment or something or the other, and the children tend to move away from that particular situation where they are being judged. So it is all about the thoughts. We as parents can only see the behavior. Now, could you please change the slide? So this is established that the children are not able to recognize their feelings and emotions most of the time. Why only children? I would say even बड़े भी अपने emotions के साथ इतना ज़्यादा जो है connect नहीं कर पाते. Most of the time we feel that we are feeling low. It's like going to a doctor and saying कि मेरे throat में problem है, and you go to an ENT and say कि भाई maybe I have tonsillitis. ENT check करता है tonsillitis भी नहीं होता है, then you have to run the tests. When it's only through the tests that we can make out that yes, this is the specific problem, there is some kind of an infection, and then of course the treatment is given accordingly. So after recognition here, which is only through the behavior, it could be indiscipline or it could be any other behavioral issues which we have seen in the video, and a lot more which Vinita will talk about. So what is the next step after recognition? How do you take a professional help like a Disha Kiran platform? So over to you, Vinita, for the next part of the webinar. And Vinita is our Chief Psychology Officer. She's, as told by Dr. Andy, a clinical psychologist. Without taking much of your time now, over to Vinita. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parul, and welcome dear parents and students to this wellness webinar. I would just like to add a little something to what Dr. Parul has shared with you. And this is something which I have seen in all my, and I've experienced in all my counseling sessions with a lot of young students, is that we as parents must have an open and honest communication with our child, because it is only then that we can observe their emotions, their feelings, and we can observe the behaviors very, very closely, and we can help them in maintaining this health and well-being that we are talking about. What we want to emphasize today here is that adolescence is a unique and formative time. But what is important is that we need to understand that health is not just the absence of disease, but it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. This definition was given as early as 1948 by WHO. So, what is the key word here? The key word that we need to understand is why is well-being important. Well-being is important because it allows us to feel emotions like happiness, contentment, curiosity, satisfaction. It supports our mental health. It gives our children a greater ability to manage their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It helps us to maintain good relationships. It helps us to understand our strengths and helps us to achieve our goals and find meaning and purpose in all that we do. Now, high levels of well-being, as you can see, can help students flourish in life. But if there is any kind of imbalance in any one aspect of our well-being, then as children we can face a lot of concerns like stress, anger issues, anxiety, as Dr. Parul pointed out, exam stress, and even depression. So now, when should we as parents be concerned? Normal mood swings, the child not wanting to go to school, the child not being interested in their studies, these are some things which we see in many children, and we needn't be concerned if it is just a one-off thing. But when do we need to start noticing is when we see that these behaviors are more dramatic than what we normally see in this age group. When we see that these behaviors are continuing for a very, very long duration and they are repetitive. And because of these behaviors, when we see that our children are not able to focus on their studies, their academic performance is dropping, they are not talking that much, they are spending more and more time in their rooms, they are cutting off from everybody, they are not able to communicate with their parents, with their friends, that is when we need to be concerned. Now, I would just like to share this slide. Dr. Andy has already pointed out a lot of alarming statistics with regard to mental well-being. My reason for putting this slide is for you just to understand that how important it is to address this issue at the right time and not ignore any kind of signs that we see in our children. We must understand that mental well-being is a continuum. छोटी छोटी चीजों से प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट होती है. It can be a simple phobia, it can be exam stress, it can be hyperactivity, it can be stubborn behavior, it can be not being able to cope with your emotions. ये छोटी छोटी problems हैं, मगर if they are ignored and if the child does not get help at the right time, these problems can grow into bigger behavioral disorders, as we will talk about even later. I would just like to share with you here that even top engineering and management colleges these days are introducing a personal mastery semester. Now, this was not there when we were growing up and we were studying in college. So why is it important now? At IIT Madras, this course is called Happiness, Habits and Success. Now, The reason for introducing this is because colleges are feeling that more and more adolescents and young children are growing up as adults with very, very low mental well-being. They are not able to cope with their emotions. They are all the time anxious. They are not able to make healthy friendships. They are not able to discuss their problems with anybody. And so to encourage them to be able to balance their well-being before they start the curriculum, they have introduced this semester so that the children understand what are their strengths, in which areas do they need improvement, and how can they utilize their strengths in a more effective way. Can I have the previous slide, please, Estelle? Now, this is important because these children have had small issues as adolescents, but they were ignored and they did not have anyone to discuss these issues with. And so they carried these issues with them into adulthood, and this causes problems when they start going to college. I know many of you parents who have joined this webinar today want your child to excel academically. But what I want you to understand by telling you this example of IIT Madras is that having a strong wellness is very, very important for your child to effectively utilize his intelligence, his aptitude, his skills, and achieve the best. So what can we as parents and caregivers give to our children? How can we help them achieve this mental wellness? Because as you all know, a lot of people don't want to talk about mental health concerns, don't want to talk about wellness because it has a lot of shyness, a lot of stigma associated with it. So what you can give to your children is a safe and supportive space like what we are giving you at Disha Kiran, where your children can come out and discuss such issues. The Disha Kiran Wellness Program, as you can see on your screen, has an online wellness assessment which the child will take as soon as the school takes up this wellness program. This is an assessment which the child does online, and a customized report is given at the end of the assessment. Once the wellness assessment is completed, based on the analysis of the psychologist, we decide what kind of counseling is required for the child. Then regular counseling is given to the child so that we are able to help the child, we are able to guide the child at regular intervals and also help him deal with whatever issues and concerns he or she is facing. We also have a 24/7 helpline. This is something which is very, very unique because here a child can call up under 100% confidentiality and need not give his name and can tell us what his problem is, and we can help the child. That is the uniqueness of this program. Next slide, please. So as I was telling you, the wellness assessment starts with an online assessment that each and every child takes. Now this assessment covers all 8 dimensions of wellness, which you can see on your screen, which is emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, occupational, and social. These 8 dimensions of wellness helps the child to understand how they can balance their emotion, how they can appreciate their strengths, how can they work on whichever areas need further guidance, how can they observe their thoughts, how can they understand what is holding them back from achieving the best that they can. Now, based on this assessment, the team of psychologists gives very customized counseling sessions to the child. The counseling sessions depend on what kind of concerns have come out in the assessment. There might be a lot of children who do not require any intervention. So for them, we have a wellness strengthening program where we will at regular intervals give them personality and self-assessment quizzes and scales which they can do to understand which areas, what are their strengths, what are their abilities, and we will also guide them in all aspects of wellness. But for children where a specific concern has come out, for those children, we will give them therapy to deal with larger issues like anger management. If a child is very hyperactive, is not able to concentrate, is not able to focus. Here on the screen, you can see the report of one such girl who took the wellness assessment, and this is what has come up in her report. This girl was facing issues of social isolation due to the pandemic. Children these days are not going to school and so are further retreating into a shell. They are not communicating so much with their friends, they are not going out of the house, and she had got so used to giving examinations online, attending classes online, that when the child had to go to school, the very thought of going to school was causing her anxiety. She was also extremely close to her grandparent, who she lost during this pandemic. That further magnified her anxiety, and it brought in a lot of anger in her because the child was not able to cope with the emotions that she was facing. So how did we help her? We gave her customized individual counseling sessions where we helped her cope with this grief and loss of losing a grandparent, helped her reduce her anxiety, decrease her impulsive nature, develop stronger social skills. We were able to restructure her negative thoughts and bring in more positive thoughts. And if you see in this report, you will see that her stress resilience was very less, and she was also not able to focus. That's the reason why in her mind report, her organizational skills have come very low. So as you can see, this report is a very, very clear indication of which areas require intervention, and it is here that we are giving a very customized intervention to your child and helping them achieve a sense of balance amongst all these areas of wellness. Next slide. Now, as I have been discussing, this Disha Kiran Wellness Program helps in creating healthy habits and a healthy lifestyle eventually. It also helps your child to understand themselves. This is a very, very crucial aspect where if a child can understand who they are, then that child is able to understand their strengths and also is able to understand in which areas does he require guidance and support. His problem solving abilities increase. He's able to have a very high sense of self-esteem. His self-confidence increases, and when a child is self-confident, he or she is motivated to work harder, to achieve more, to have a more productive life ahead. His life has more personal meaning. That child is better able to face any kind of challenges that the school or the curriculum or in life, if the child has to face any challenge, he or she is better able to face these challenges and also cope with the varied emotions that Dr. Parul also pointed out, that children are faced with so many things. So having strong wellness helps you achieve a very, very fine sense of balance, and you're able to grow into adulthood as a more confident person. Next slide. Before I invite the Chief Commercial Officer, I would just like to end by leaving you with 3 messages. The first, that it is very important to ask for help, and there is no shyness or stigma that should be associated with it. The second, that we should not ignore even the smallest behavioral concern that we see in our child, because as I told you, it starts with small problems. छोटी बातों से शुरू होते हैं problems, but अगर उन्हें ignore करते हैं हम, तो वो ही छोटी problems बड़े हो जाते हैं, and then that child is not able to achieve his true potential. And the third most important thing, कि intervention सही टाइम पे होना चाहिए. We should be able to support and guide your child at the right time. If the problem is small, तो काउंसलिंग से वो छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम आराम से ईज आउट हो सकती है एंड योर चाइल्ड विल बी एबल टू इफेक्टिवली ओवरकम ऑल द चैलेंजेस ही और शी इज फेसिंग और एकेडमिकली अचीव कर सकता है जो भी वो अचीव करना चाहता है. ये एक बहुत क्रूशल टाइम है बिकॉज चिल्ड्रन आर नाउ गोइंग टू सीनियर क्लासेस और उसके बाद उन्होंने कॉलेज में दे आर गोइंग टू स्टेप इन टू कॉलेज. तो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम राइट टाइम पे इन wellness concerns को address करें. So I would just like to leave you with these 3 messages and invite Joshua to further explain to you कि दिशा किरण के wellness package में हम आपको और कौन से psychometric tests और क्या चीजें ऑफर कर रहे हैं. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinita. Thank you for that. Most of the part of wellness has been explained to you by Dr. Parul, our Chief Counseling Officer, and Ms. Vinita, our Chief Psychologist Officer. ये wellness and counseling दोनों जो हैं बहुत ही scientific way में हमने डिजाइन किया है इनको, and we have curated it, and especially हर स्कूल के लिए उनके जिस तरीके के बच्चे होते हैं उस तरीके से they have been customized for every school. And ये सब सेल्फ असेसमेंट है. कुछ लोग क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे ऑन दी this thing that we want to take assessments. Yes, you can go to our website www.dishakiran.com and take those assessments. In fact, feedback form भी हमने डाला है, which if you click on that, you also get a discount voucher for all these assessments. This is the right time you could take all these assessments with a offer and the discount voucher that is available, because you've all joined on this workshop. As a special this thing, we are giving the vouchers to you. Wellness में हम बहुत तरीके के रिपोर्ट वगैरह क्रिएट करते हैं जिसमें the progress report can be seen very clearly. Counseling, both online counseling भी है, offline counseling and one-on-one counseling is done. We have a large number of experts who take on various aspects of the counseling depending on किस तरह की counseling चाहिए, उस तरीके की counseling is dealt with in that manner. Let me come to the psychometrics. Most importantly, this is where this also is a part of giving happiness and being the well-being, where you are able to identify your personality, interest and aptitude, and be able to see what are your strengths and weaknesses and build upon it and work on those things. All these tests have been designed with a huge amount of research, and internationally they are accredited this thing and made specifically suited for Indian context, for our own Indian society. And the accuracy, of course, is very highly accurate. All the testimonials, all the people who have taken the test have found the test to be very accurate. इसके अलावा we provide mentoring. Mentoring is something like a child who wants to understand कि मैं किस फील्ड में जाना चाहता हूँ या किस सब्जेक्ट में जाना चाहता हूँ, किसी चीज में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना चाहता हूँ आगे. We provide industry experts from those places, from those fields, who sit one-on-one with children and make them explain as to what are the things that is in hold for the future for them. And all our systems, all our assessments are all artificial intelligence based, where they are continuously progressing in that manner. एक छोटा सा sample for you all to see what the assessments look like. They're very simple. These assessments will take not much time, just 15 to 20 minutes. It's just that much time that you take to have your burger. And if you see, the questions are very, very simple. कुछ जगह पे they are also in a pictorial manner where children of smaller age group can understand. So we have tests for different age groups. We have divided it in that manner where the teens and below teens. So they are curated in that manner. and specifically, they just don't take any time at all. And it's very simple to take the assessments on our website, or you can take it on our app also, both on Android and iOS. So with that, I will come. Essentially, you have understood about the problems of wellness and the solutions of wellness. What we offer and how it helps. It essentially provides increased happiness, and like Vinita had said, academic performance directly improves once your wellness is taken care of. आप खुश हैं तो आपकी academic performance अपने आप ऊपर बढ़ने लगती है. Then we come on to the other benefits, where if you have an early intervention, it is better that the problem is sorted out earlier than it gets delayed. जितना जल्दी हम उसको एड्रेस करेंगे उतना अच्छा रहेगा और उतना जल्दी वो सॉल्व हो जाएगा. And finally, the holistic well-being that one gets out of it, because एक ओवरऑल पूरा सारे चक्रा जो हैं, जब सब आपके अच्छे रहेंगे तो इन ऑल फील्ड्स, चाहे एकेडमिक हो, चाहे खेलकूद में हो, या अपने दोस्तों के साथ या फैमिली के साथ डीलिंग हो, everything will be on a positive way. Most importantly, already covered, this 24/7 helpline anybody can reach, and we will provide a counselor depending on the kind of requirement that is there for the person, whether it is the child, whether it is the parent. Anybody can call, including the school staff or the teachers. And this I cannot emphasize anymore. Well-being, once it starts from as a childhood, it will carry into adulthood in all spheres of life, in the professional life, in the family life, and in the social life. Before I hand over to our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Andy Anil, I would like to thank Birla Brainiacs for this opportunity for us and for taking care of well-being of their students. And also remind you all that please take the feedback. The link is in the chat box, and there are vouchers waiting for you in that as well. Thank you.
थैंक यू कर्नल जोशुआ. सबसे पहले तो जो पेरेंट्स और बच्चे आज आए हैं, मेरा मानना ये है कि वो अपने बच्चों के बारे में, या जो बच्चे आए हैं वो अपने बारे में ज़्यादा ध्यान रखते हैं. सो थैंक यू टू यू गाइस हु हैव जॉइंड दिस सेशन. बिफोर वी एंड, I'll request all the parents to please fill the feedback form, and students as well to fill the feedback form. आपको ये एक स्लाइड दिखानी थी जिसके अंदर वेलनेस प्रोग्राम का क्या इम्पैक्ट होता है. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We are working with lot of more than 100 schools all over India in different states. These are 5 normal examples where हम लोगों ने एक असेसमेंट किया कि हमारा जो प्रोग्राम है क्या वो कितना इफेक्टिव है. सो उसमें हमने 3 पैरामीटर्स पे अपने प्रोग्राम को असेस किया. एक है कि एब्सेंटिज्म वेदर इट इज ऑफ ऑनलाइन क्लासेस और ऑफलाइन क्लासेस. द सेकंड इज ओवरऑल एकेडमिक परफॉर्मेंस परसेंटेज, जिसको OAP परसेंटेज बोलते हैं एकेडमिक टर्म में. एंड थर्ड इज क्रैकिंग ऑफ एनी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम लाइक JEE और NEET. अगर आप देखेंगे इसमें फर्स्ट जो कॉलम है एब्सेंटिज्म का, दिस इज बिफोर एंड आफ्टर इज 1 year program of wellness which we ran. So if you see, absenteeism drastically reduced in some schools like Serial 5, a private school in Delhi. Absenteeism was 11%, which became 4%. There's a school in Pune at Serial 3 from 15% to 7%. Now, if you come to academic performance, wellness program चलाने से पहले और उसके 1 साल बाद, if you see, there are schools which have gained drastically. Serial 5, Delhi School, 79% OAP to 89%. Serial 1, 68% to 74%. Similarly, cracking of any competitive exam, if you see, Serial 4, the school in Baroda, which had only 1 child passing cracking of an exam, had 7 children passing cracking competitive exam. Serial 5, again, 9 to 21. Serial 1, 4 to 12. So, all these three major aspects of academic life of a child were taken care of because of this wellness intervention for 1 year. Next slide, please. Now, the one last example of this is a real life example of two students who were involved with Disha Kiran. This is a story of Anita and Varun. We have changed the name. Real names are different. ये दोनों 6th क्लास से एक ही स्कूल में पढ़ते थे, एक ही सेक्शन में पढ़ते थे और ये रियल लाइफ स्टोरी है. ग्रेड 10 में जब रिजल्ट आया बोर्ड का तो उसमें अनीता स्कोर्ड 7.82 CGPA and Varun scored 9.88 grade point average and he topped the school. But grade 12th में क्या हुआ कि Anita topped the school with 9.91 and Varun scored 8.09. So इन दोनों के जो academic performance totally different हो गए. ऐसा क्या हुआ कि 2 साल के अंदर इतना डिफरेंस आ गया? हुआ ये था कि ग्रेड 10 के से पहले अनीता के पेरेंट्स ने अपने बच्ची का साइकोमेट्रिक असेसमेंट कराया जिसमें उसके सब्जेक्ट्स कौन से उसकी पर्सनैलिटी, इंटरेस्ट और एप्टीट्यूड सूट करते हैं वो सब्जेक्ट्स निकल के आए. And she pursued the same subjects and she was able to top the school from being a very average student to being a topper of the school. While Varun took subjects based on the peer pressure कि भाई PCM लेना ही लेना है, JEE निकालना ही निकालना है. उस चक्कर में Varun performed not so great. But notwithstanding that, once this happened, after this, Varun's parents also approached us and we were able to help Varun with the assessments, and I'll be very happy to share that Varun is doing exceptionally well in second year of his college and Anita continues to top every year in college. So with this story, it is very encouraging to see such stories, and we have lots of such stories where the children's performance, their behavior, their attitude has continually changed because of the right intervention and right time. Next slide, please. Now, this is the last slide of today's workshop. आज की वर्कशॉप से क्या हमने सीखा है, क्या लेसन हमको घर लेके जाने चाहिए, उसके बारे में थोड़ी सी बात है. फर्स्ट इज दैट टू एनी चाइल्ड्स ग्रोथ एंड सक्सेस, wellness and mental health are very critical to that. We must as parents and teachers understand this part of it. Second thing is timely intervention can be a game changer. अगर एक बच्चे को 10th के टाइम पे मालूम चल गया कि कौन सा सब्जेक्ट लेना है, तो that timely intervention can be a game changer in that child's life. And we need professional support to maximize the wellness aspects. अब बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं कि हमारे टाइम पे तो जैसे जिस वक्त का मैं हूँ, हमारे टाइम पे कोई वेलनेस और कोई ऐसा नहीं होता था. बोलते हैं आजकल क्या जरूरत है. But today we must understand as parents that today the situation has totally changed from what we were in. We were in joint families, we didn't have internet, we didn't have many other aspects. So today a child is facing large number of aspects, so that to handle his emotions, to understand his psychology, you need professional support. And at this stage, if we know the mental health of a child, it will have drastic consequences. Child बेशक बोले नहीं कि मुझे क्या तकलीफ, but at parent we must understand that every child is facing some issue or other. And wellness is not a one-time activity कि एक बार आपने assessment करा दिया तो खत्म हो गया. It's a continuous activity because see, children keep getting different kind of stresses. हर different time पे बच्चों को different stress आती है. उनको de-stress करना बहुत जरूरी है time to time. And last thing is destigmatizing help seeking. हमारे इंडियन कल्चर में हम लोग इस तरह की हेल्प को सीख करना मानते हैं कि यार गलत बात है, जबकि यही बात प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने बोली है कि ये ऐसा नहीं है. हम लोगों को एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि आज के वक्त में, आज के इंटरनेट ज़माने में हम लोगों को किसी से भी हेल्प मांगने में, किसी तरह की भी हेल्प सीख करने में कोई परेशानी नहीं होनी चाहिए. अल्टीमेटली ऑल ऑफ अस वांट आवर चिल्ड्रन टू डू द बेस्ट दे कैन डू. उनके पोटेंशियल को मैक्सिमाइज करना है और उसके लिए हमको उनका वेलनेस का, फिजिकल वेलनेस है, सोशल वेलनेस है, मेंटल वेलनेस है, इन सब का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट की टेकअवेज फ्रॉम टुडेज वेलनेस वर्कशॉप आर. आई विल रिक्वेस्ट नाउ एनीबडी हैज एनी क्वेश्चन कैन प्लीज गिव अस द क्वेश्चंस इन द चैट बॉक्स or in the Q&A. My team of experts will be very happy to answer your questions. I'm just typing the portal. You can send your queries there also. We have a support program there. You can send any question you might have, any doubt you might have. You can send there, and we'll be very happy to answer. So, if there are no questions, then On behalf of team of Disha Kiran, I would like to once again thank Birla Brainiacs management and Birla Open Mind School management for this opportunity to talk to the parents and children. And from the team, we wish all the children very, very good luck, good wishes for future. We hope that all of you excel in life, stay safe, stay healthy, and always remember you have to take care of your wellness. With that, yeah.
Dr. Andy, just a moment. Trishta, you had a question for us that what are behavioral disorders? So I would just like to quickly address that before we end. That behavioral disorders are a pattern of disruptive behaviors जो हम बच्चे में देखते हैं. And if these disruptive behaviors go on for more than 6 months, then these become behavioral disorders. So some of these disruptive behaviors may be very simple, like inattention, मतलब attention नहीं है किसी भी task में. The child is not able to focus. The child is hyperactive all the time. The child is becoming stubborn. तो ये जो disruptive behaviors हैं, ये sometimes ऑलमोस्ट सारे बच्चों में कभी ना कभी एक्सप्रेस करते हैं बच्चे, मगर अगर ये बिहेवियर्स एक पैटर्न में 6 मंथ से ज्यादा बच्चे में हम देखते हैं, देन दीज डिस्ट्रप्टिव बिहेवियर्स बिकम मोर सीरियस इश्यूज एंड दे बिकम बिहेवियरल डिसऑर्डर्स. सो thank you so much for asking the question.
Thank you, Vinita, for explaining the question and the answer. So we hope you got the answer. Anybody who feels like asking more questions can please approach us on dishakiran.com. Once again, thank you all of you to join this session today, and have a great day, great weekend, great life ahead. Thank you and bye-bye.
A Radio School with Birla Brainiacs.